Bitcoin fell by over 4.62% yesterday, and well, we've gone back into those lower ranges that we've been testing most recently. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look at the technical analysis on BTC, where I'll be showing my short to medium term price expectations on the price action. As I get into today's video, if you do find it useful and informative, smash that like button. If you are new to the channel, subscribe, and let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin. We're going to kick things off right here. This is Bitcoin paired up with the USDT. We're on the 1 hour Binance chart here. Now, in the last video, we were talking about a BTC long position. We were looking here on the 50 EMA, 50 SMA, 200 EMA situation, looking for a reversal. We were targeting out the 67,782 to 68,127. You can see right here, this played out beautifully. So basically, we had an entry at 67,058, stop loss at 66,639. We almost got hit there. And then, of course, take profit up on that higher range of 67,797. A great way for a 1.77 risk reward ratio taking profit out of the market. So we hit that. We saw a little bit of a pull to the downside, testing out previous areas of resistance, turning them to support and rallying back up. We actually got a high up here on Thursday at 2100 hours UTC at $68,850. From there, though, we did see a knee-jerk reaction in the market. So late Thursday into Friday early hours, it was a 2.32% move. And then, of course, we got the little relief rally where we can see right up here there's a pocket of resistance that was forming right inside here. So let me go ahead and just show you, pull that back in there a little bit better. If we go ahead and just show you what this area is right here, it's basically 68,348 to 68,850. You can see there were no closed positions in there. Okay, so this was a heavy area of resistance, specifically with this huge wick right inside here. This test of it getting rejected, we would have been looking for a short right around here, specifically as we started to see an undecided market. We could have waited for this red one right here. This also would have been a good place to think about those entries. So hypothetically, if you're monitoring the market, we had a couple of options. We could have gone short here for a 1.5 risk reward ratio, which would have been right about here. Didn't hit profit. We went back up into this area before coming back down. So that was option one. Option two was to go and wait a little bit more until we got this closed position, stop loss still up there, and targeting out 1.5 on the risk reward ratio, which would have put us right around here, and of course taken profit right in this low range yesterday, 1800 hours. Okay, so some great opportunities for trading cryptocurrencies at the moment on these smaller time frames. Okay, so we've kind of seen this area of rejection. We've had this pull to the downside. What's interesting is if we measure the distances on all of this, we can start to actually plot out what's going to happen next. Okay, so with our high point here on Friday the 25th at 1400 hours UTC, that high was at 68,771, and that particular area is going to basically be a lower high than what we saw previously over here, which was on the 2100 hours on the Thursday 24th, right? So this is a lower high, and it was coming in at basically 68,771.49, and I'm just going to go ahead and move the Fibonacci chart right there. Now you can see here we had this move to the downside, and we did in fact cross lower than 1.618. Now we can't see on this 1 hour time frame, did we move up before moving down, or did we move down then up, and then we finished off with that move? So if in order for us to figure that out, we'll jump to a 15-minute time frame. Here we can see that we hit it before going up. So yes, it's an impulsive movement. Here we can then also see this move to the downside. Also this looking like a 5-wave move in itself as well, which while we're here, we might as well do our due diligence and just check what that looks like. Yes, it is. And of course, if we go to a 5-minute time frame, we can see here up and then down. So basically you finish off a beautiful 5-wave move. Let's bring this up into an hourly chart so I can show you what that looks like. Okay, if I remove this off, it basically means that we have completed a 5-wave move to the downside here. Okay, so we have a wave 1, okay, a wave 2, a wave 3, a wave 4, and a wave 5. Now, this is a really interesting structure because we have overlap between wave 4 and wave 5. Okay, now that means it's not an impulsive movement. Instead, this has to be considered something different. And taking a look at it, I would say that this is a contracting diagonal. Okay, and contracting diagonals can indeed actually have this Actually, is it contracting? Let me measure. I need to measure the distances here. I want to make sure that we are indeed talking about the correct things. We don't want to be kind of misleading in any way. It's not a contracting, it's an expanding, sorry. That would make a lot more sense here. So expanding coming out here with the trend line. And then of course we can take our wave 1 low over here. We can see that it expands out. Okay, and it expands out quite aggressively like so. Okay, this means that this is a very interesting diagonal-based pattern that has not yet crossed lower than 65,260. Okay, and that is a concern that I would have, because here we can see one of two scenarios. We either have a running flat correction. A running flat correction would be an A wave coming down here. No, in fact, it can't even do that because we're not even going higher on the B wave. So yeah, we've probably got more to go. We'll look for a zigzag pattern at best, meaning that we are likely to see a bit of a relief and then a bit more of a move to the downside. I know this is all quite complex. I apologize if you don't fully understand Elliott wave theory or know exactly what I'm talking about. I did put together a course on Elliott wave theory. It's linked in a description down below over at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗀𝗠𝗃𝗀𝗠𝗃.com. I am running 50% off if you are interested in understanding a bit more about the intricacies of Elliott wave theory. Obviously, there's a lot of rules. There's lots of things to remember. I try to talk through them as I go through these videos, but it can be a little bit overwhelming at times. I apologize for that. So anyway, moving on, this is a expanding diagonal based pattern. It is a 5-wave structure that contains those 5-wave movements, yet it has overlap between wave 1 and wave 4, which means it's not impulsive, it's diagonal. Okay, so with the diagonal pattern in place, what's next? Well, the next move to me looks likely to be a bit more of a move to the upside. We would typically be looking for a rally that would go between the areas of 88.2, that's this range here at 68,457, to that lower range coming in down here at 57,203. Okay, that would be the area that I would be kind of looking at for this next little run to the upside. We haven't yet gone into that range just yet. Let me move the fibs off there so you guys can see. Obviously, all these targets, I'm going to go ahead and remove all of this noise off the chart here, but I'm going to leave this bigger, broader area in because it's a part of this move on a macro scale. And all we're really seeing here, guys, is this next kind of what I believe to be a 3-wave pattern. So as you can kind of see, we have a zigzag over here, A, B, and C. Okay, we have the relief rally coming up into our typical range here, which is between the 67,359 and 69,003. And then, of course, we're going to be looking for a little bit of a run up into this little area, okay, 67,203 to 68,460 approximately. And then from here, we'll look for another 5-wave move to the downside, right? We can't just have 5 waves randomly. I was hoping to see maybe there was some kind of irregular flat going on. And there is one scenario here is that actually this is all B wave, which is possible in that irregular flat situation, but I don't think that's really going to be the case. So I think for the most part, we're going to look for a double zigzag across the board here, or the board here. So we're looking for a move upwards. Our momentum is moving up quite rapidly on the 1-hour time frame. Do I suspect we're going to get there this weekend? Possibly. I mean, Sundays can typically be quite a volatile day, so we'll keep an eye on that. Divergence indicator wise, we are in bearish territory. We obviously had the bearish indicator here coming in on that high, bearish divergence here. So anyone could have captured that as well on the higher side for shorting the market. So bearish divergence was there. At the moment, we're lower than 50, so we're in bearish momentum, looking for more of a pull to the downside. MACD histogram here kind of shows you what's been going on. We have growing volume here in selling while decreasing volume. And this is a key thing, right? This divergence that you see going on. Let me actually go ahead and draw this in properly. With a trend line to the upside here, you can see that there is decreasing momentum as we were having higher highs. This kind of setup is incredibly bearish, right? And we kind of talk about this as much as we possibly can so you guys can kind of see what's going on here. We were kind of looking at this upper area for massive shorting opportunities. Okay, now for this, we are still looking at flipping into more bullish, so we are looking for moves to the upside. The 200 EMA 50 SMAs are probably the areas of focus for us at the moment. Okay, so our next trading opportunity for Bitcoin is going to be to go short on the market. Now, how high or how low are we looking to go? Well, in order for us to do that, we need to first of all figure out what's going on with this internal working. So we're going to come into the smaller time frames here. You can see that we are kind of already coming up to these resistances. I'm going to go ahead and figure out that we are probably going to be looking more for a move towards 67.7 to 68,000 flat. I'm going to go ahead and draw a little yellow box right there, get rid of the fibs, and then bring this back to our 1 hour time frame. Hopefully that stays. It does. It goes right inside here. Okay, so that's going to be the area where we think the most probable scenario is, but there's a lot of resistance here. Okay, so what we're going to look for is we're going to look for shorting. We're probably going to go short in and around the 200 EMA. Okay, we're going to put the stop loss as wide as we can. So we're going to look to go up at least to 68,500, and we're going to target 1.5 on the risk reward ratio. That's going to put it around here. Now with this, I would suggest that there's going to be better entries than this area right here. So at the moment, as this is drawn on the chart, our entry is at 67,175, stop loss is at 68,509, and our take profit would be at 65,179. Okay, now looking at it, I would suggest that there's potentially a better entry here in and around that higher range, right? If we can go up to that higher range, our risk reward ratio still looks like 3.34 rather than 1.5. And I suspect that we're going to be coming down more aggressively in this larger, bigger macro picture. So we can take a look at this and we'll say that we should be expecting more volatility, where that volatility is more likely to be heading more towards 63 to 64,000, which is in line with our kind of daily time frame, which we're going to talk about in a moment. Okay, so you can see that our targets here could actually be a lot better with the moves to the downside at around 64,634, and our risk reward ratio becomes 4.5 if we have that little run to the upside. I'm going to say that we enter in and around the 200 EMA depending on how price reacts to it, and we'll keep a close eye on that, because there is of course a potential mini breakout on the 1 hour time frame that could allow us to go long at the 200 EMA, tight stop loss, target out that slightly higher range at a 2.35 risk reward ratio before we get into the short. But ultimately, if we kind of think about this as a trade that's going to last multiple days, then I do think we want to be thinking about short positions, even though there's still the potential for a bit more of a push to the upside first. Okay, so yeah, my trade idea here will be that we go short on the market, but be open-minded that maybe we push up a bit more for a better entry into that short. And talking about trading, we have an amazing deal for you today. How does a 10% cashback bonus up to 2,000 USDT sound? That's right, Blowfin is offering an incredible promotion, but it's only available to the first 100 users, so you'll need to act fast. Blowfin, a top cryptocurrency exchange, is giving new users a fantastic opportunity. When you sign up using the special link in the description, you can get a 10% cashback bonus up to 2,000 USDT in your futures account. And the best part, it's first come, first served basis. So the first 100 users to sign up will be the ones who can claim this bonus. Here's how you can jump in. Step 1, click the special link in the description to sign up to Blowfin. Step 2, once you're in, start trading futures. Step 3, you'll automatically get a 10% cashback bonus in your futures account, up to 2,000 USDT if you're one of the first 100 users to sign up. So what are you waiting for? This is a limited time offer, and only the first 100 users will get this incredible deal. Click the link in the description down below, sign up to Blowfin, and secure your 10% cashback up to 2,000 USDT before it's gone. Don't miss out on this amazing offer from Blowfin. Remember, it's first come, first serve. So hit that link in the description and get started now. Good luck and happy trading. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll this up into a daily time frame. Okay, so the daily time frame, we obviously do have a short running. Our entry on this was 67,696. We are at stop loss of 70,500 and take profit at 63,469. 1.5 risk reward ratio, right? So we have seen a low at the moment, coming in at 65,260. We also saw a low yesterday on Friday's wick low, coming in at 65,596. So great little profit at the minute, still in profit at the moment as well on this short idea. And of course, this was an obvious one to us because we were taking a look at our histogram here with basically showing us that there isn't a lot of reason to think that this push to the upside was going to be sustainable. As you can see with the W and the Y waves, not only is this structure complete, but we can also see that histogram here was pushing down. Okay, so we're seeing less momentum or less positive momentum going into these higher highs. That showed weakness. And of course, on the macro scale, as we zoomed out, we have lower highs on this as well. Okay, so this on a macro scale is really bullish, right? We're positive on a macro scale. But as we zoom in here and we take a look at what's been going on over the last couple of months, there's not a lot of positive momentum coming into it. So we were looking for the short. The short was obvious to me. I know a lot of other influencers and stuff were really hyping up the market, thinking about new all-time highs. But to be honest with you, it was quite glaringly obvious what was going to happen in the market, in my opinion. Now, things are changing a little bit, right? So we've had a lot of liquidations. We've seen a lot of people getting wrecked and all that kind of stuff, the stuff that the market loves to see, liquidity being extracted out of the market. Now, with all of those things going on and within this short idea, we have seen momentum shifting. Okay, so the market's getting ready for a pump to the upside. Okay, so like I've been saying with XRP and the way that we shorted that in the same way that we shorted Bitcoin here, we are looking for the price to start a recovery. Okay, we're getting close to it. As we get closer and closer to the election, it's more and more clear that we're going to see a positive reaction in the market. Not only has history shown us that the election day is an incredibly bullish one in the crypto market and specifically for Bitcoin, we can see that momentum is gearing up for that momentum to shift in a really big bullish way. Okay, so although we have this short target coming in here at 63, we want to be very mindful that this market is about to change on us, right? It's going to change from this bearish pattern that we've been seeing into a potentially bullish one, okay? Meaning that we might break out of those problems that we've been having with the lower highs on the daily time frame, okay? So it's looking good. It's not bad, okay? So I'm not concerned about the macro levels. Now, obviously, we were kind of thinking about the potential for $60,000, and it still remains very much a possible scenario. A breakout before then, so let me zoom out of this so I can show you guys. If we can get a higher high coming in here, higher than 70,000 is good. Higher than 73,000 for a new all-time high is better. Okay, and if we can do that, then we can be looking for a nice call off before we get into the next big bullish markets. Okay, so we're looking for a bump to the upside. Okay, it's really good to see that the market's starting to think about these things. You can start to see the participants in the market looking more positively. Now, on this daily time frame, with everything that's going on here, the best bearish case, I guess, at the minute is coming in at around the 64,740 to 63,781. That means that our take profit is probably not going to get hit. It's probably not going to happen. Okay, so we need to lift our take profit up to at least, in my opinion, if we want to be safe, 64,740. Okay, and obviously we can lower our stop loss, okay, as we start to think about these moves. We do want this to stay high as possible, so we're going to put this above the previous swing high that we had up here on the 21st of October. Okay, so we still get a 1.51 risk reward ratio. Okay, so we'll keep obviously our entry as our entry, but stop loss moves to 69,654 and take profit is at 64,741. Okay, and the reason for that is we look for a three-wave correction here before going up again in what will be, in my opinion, a WXY, X, and Z structure rather than just a WXY structure. Okay, so we're looking for a quick three-wave pattern here, just A, B, and C, like so, and then we'll go up into another zigzag pattern, which is another A, B, and C structure coming in here, which we may, of course, go up into new all-time highs. We may not. We'll see, but we are looking for a retest of 70,000. Okay, now, how long that's going to take to play out, I don't know. Afterwards, of course, I still will be looking for a calling off. I don't think we're necessarily done with that. Momentum here on the stochastic is looking good. On our relative strength index, okay, we are heading down towards the 50 level, but we're above 50, so we're still in bullish territory here. Okay, so with nothing really concerning there on that one. Volume profiles are, well, they're still really low, as you can kind of see here, right? 2023 was good, 2024 not so good. Okay, so yeah, volumes are not really where they need to be just yet. They will come back, of course, in due course. Our histogram here, okay, and you can kind of see this is quite interesting if we zoom out on it. Our histogram here is still showing us with extreme volatility in all of this side. Lots of accumulation is happening at Bitcoin's price over the last few months or so, and it is shaking out a lot of retail investors. Momentum, of course, has been shifting down quite aggressively as we have this. So again, we have lower highs going on. If we can get a breakout here into a higher high situation, we do also need to see momentum supporting it. If we don't see the momentum, we are going to be a little bit concerned. The positive note here is that we can see on our histogram that things are getting ready for a big change. Okay, so obviously I suspect we're going to have a bullish change on the market, but you can see here that the momentum is weakening on both aspects. The market can't decide which way to swing, and at the moment I suspect we are getting closer to a bullish break to the upside. This will probably happen with a lot of other bearishness occurring. At the moment, the market is insanely bullish. There's lots of bullish sentiment out there. And I do think that is usually a recipe for disaster. As they say, you should basically be buying the fear and selling the greed. And the market's kind of been greedy. So as we were kind of approaching those higher highs, higher ranges, we saw obviously the divergences going on, but we could also see that there was a lot of greed in the market, lots of hype and etc. I think we're going to see the opposite soon, where lots of fear comes into the market, how we're unable to get a higher high. And I think as we start to push down towards the 64,000, lose the 65, I think that's going to be where we start to see a lot of fear coming into the market, and actually the reversals start to come on in. So taking a look at all of this, I think we're gearing up for a big run. I think we're going to have a new all-time high in and around the US election, but I don't think it's going to be sustainable until we get into inauguration day, which will be around January time. Okay, so for the market, it's looking good. I'm not concerned over anything that I'm seeing when it comes to BTC's price action. But of course, it's just my thoughts and opinions on the data in the charts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments down below, or join us in our free Discord server. It's linked in the description. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you never miss another update. And if you haven't done so already, guys, I urge you to check this video out right here. It's not one that you should be missing out on.